So if it was not clear before, it is very much so now. The SEC is at war with crypto, going after the biggest exchange, Binance. Today they're suing them. So we're going to jump into the details, see exactly what the complaints are, Binance's response to this, and some more details around this. Remember, Gensler's job is to protect investors. I bet you're all feeling protected today if you hold the BNB token here. Was 305 earlier, now down to 277. So main story here, SEC sues crypto exchange Binance and CEO CZ over multiple securities violation allegations. So they are directly trying to sue CZ as well within this. And it says the company already faces a suit from the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. So is this potentially a bit of a chalking up of the playground? Who's going to control crypto here, the CFTC or the SEC? And the SEC trying to put out some big headlines here, going after Binance rather publicly. We knew in the background this was already ongoing, that there were investigations. And so it's no real shocker here. But still, they've made headlines again today and nuked the markets along with that. So it says in here, CZ is actually being sued under allegations of violating federal securities laws on Monday. So unregistered securities were named, BNB token and BUSD as two of them, along with a lot of others. It says Binance endures 69 mil in net outflows within the first hour. However, checking some on-chain data here, recently it looks like the inflows have actually started to come back in. So immediately you do get a bit of FUD around these events. People get scared, rightly so, get your coins off exchanges wherever possible, but the money has started to flow back in. And within some of these findings as well, it states that Binance is very, very profitable as they are moving billions of funds around. So insolvency issues are not really much to be worried about. And we also have access to all of the hot wallets and things like this. Remember, they did the whole proof of reserves. So I wouldn't be too concerned at this point. The major bank run happened on the exchange back in like November, December time. So within this, one of the allegations is that Zhao, so CZ, directed Binance to assist certain high-value US customers to circumvent controls, i.e., we have to do KYC. We're not supposed to have US residents trading on the platform, but they were trying to get around that, circumventing things. That is obviously no surprise whatsoever. You would also do the same thing if your business has some absolute giga chad trading billions of dollars worth of funds on your exchange, and then the Americans want to get rid of him. So that is something that I think, they're going to plead guilty to. And of course, there's going to be some fines handed out here, and Gensler & Co. will have a massive Christmas party. No doubt about that one. The SEC also within this states that these following tokens are unregistered securities: Solana, Cardano, Polygon, Coty, Algorand, Filecoin, Atom, as well as Axie Infinity and Decentraland's Mana token. Very interesting stuff. No mention of BTC or ETH in there. It's also been told they were commingling and diverting funds. Apparently CZ has other market making firms that were trading on Binance. Trading against customers is the kind of allegation in here, but of course we'll have to see more granular detail to make any judgment calls on that one. And then this one was super interesting. So they have a quote here from former CEO Brian Brooks. So this is the guy that came from the OCC and took over that role at Binance. And he stated this: he left after 3 months at the company. I realized I'm not actually the one running this company, and that the mission that I believed I signed up for isn't the mission. And as soon as I realized that, I left. So this actually spurs a question in my mind. Was Brian Brooks planted to then, go into to get the job, then leave, come away with some alpha, and try and tuck up Binance Exchange? I believe that is what has happened with this. And it's no surprise that you're going to see some dirty tactics being played. There's some other information in here. There's a really funny quote. So it states this: former CCO bluntly admitted in December of 2018, "We are operating as a fucking unlicensed security exchange in the USA, bro." Clearly, that is the kind of thing you should not be stating ever on paper if you're in a position of power. So a load of complaints against Binance. Binance immediately clapped back here within like the first hour of this going live on Twitter. Of course, they start off saying we're disappointed with the SEC and their choice to go down this route to try and sue them. And I do think this obviously ends up in a big hefty fine being paid. But the main quotes in this, quite interestingly, Binance do have a few shots fired here. Today's action is another in a line of examples where, as with other crypto projects facing similar suits, the commission has determined to regulate with the blunt weapons of enforcement and litigation rather than the thoughtful, nuanced approach demanded by this dynamic and complex technology. So this is super interesting now. So the SEC is actually pushing together the crypto industry. They're already after Ripple. They're already after Coinbase. They're pushing all these things offshore as the blue states. SEC actions undermine America's role as a global hub for financial innovation and leadership. You're seeing regulations come into play from the UK who want a slice of the crypto pie. America pushing it away. You've got the big companies all fighting together now and potentially being united here in a battle against the SEC. So this potentially bullish for the crypto industry, the fact that previous rivals may have their opportunity to band together here and fight the common enemy in Gary Gensler and the SEC. Also in this, any allegations that user assets on Binance US platform have ever been at risk are simply wrong. Goes into more detail here as to the investigations that had been ongoing. There's zero justification for the staff's action in light of the ample time the staff had to conduct the investigation. So people have been going through the books here for Binance US, and they should have been able to conclude that there was no risk with user funds from the data they had gone through. Still, we stand with digital asset market participants in the US in opposition to the SEC's latest overreach, and we are prepared to fight it to the full extent of the law. So potentially game on and a court battle to come from this as well. So as Gensler goes after Binance and CZ, the future of finance, BTC here is taking a dump. So if you were interested in buying some Bitcoin at around 26,800, how does 26,600 sound just a few hours after some bad news breaks? Sounds pretty good to me. A lot of things down, big percentages here, and it probably is a very good time to buy some of the blood and some of the panic in the streets. Potentially what we're seeing here is one of the final fake outs before we have more of an aggressive up move in the markets. Dips are for buying at this point. Just check out the US stocks. Everything is just chatting on up. And so Bitcoin and the crypto markets more widely will catch bid at some point in the future here. And we are less than 12 months away from the halving. So when you have these big FUD storms hit, these are typically good times to be accumulating. Now remember, Gary Gensler's job is to protect investors. He protected them to the downside of $256 million. So $250 million wiped off from market participants here. Good protection, Mr. Gensler. And finally, to finish on this, Otto Suan posted earlier, the SEC is going harder at Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, Ripple than it ever did at FTX. That about says all you need to know about the situation here. Gary no longer has his favorite horse in the race, and he's coming to ruin the crypto markets in the US. But together we will get through all of this BS. We will overcome the SEC and their ridiculous ways, and we will have yet another bull market. I hope you enjoyed this quick update. If you did, drop me a GM in the comments down below. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.